Hi, I'm Len. I'm a Chinese mom, sharing quiet and real everyday life in China. Every summer, when schools close for the holidays, many Chinese families take their children back to their hometowns. The same often happens during other long holidays too. Why do so many Chinese people return to their hometowns whenever they have a long holiday? Like many Chinese families, we came back to my mother-in-law's small town for the summer. This evening, my husband and I decided to take a walk through the nearby countryside before it got dark. This was a country road I had never walked before. But many rural areas in China share similar scenes. Large self-built houses and small vegetable gardens almost everywhere. What made this road in my husband's hometown especially memorable was the sound of birds all around us. Their calls never seemed to stop, and from time to time, large flocks swept across the sky. Why are there so many birds here? I don't know the exact reason, but I can think of a few possibilities. This area is surrounded by vast camellia forests, nurseries, bamboo groves, and woodlands, creating a rich habitat with plenty of trees, insects, and food. Hunting has also been banned here for many years, and local people are very protective of wildlife. Another reason may be that many young people have moved to the cities for work. The countryside has become quieter, with fewer people and less disturbance, making it an even better place for birds to nest and thrive. The reality is that it can be difficult for young people to find stable jobs in rural areas. Some of my husband's childhood friends who stayed here now take temporary manual jobs. On a good day, they might earn around 200 yuan, or about 28 US dollars. But the work is often irregular. That is one reason why so many young people leave for the cities. In many villages, it is mostly the older generation who stay behind, looking after the family homes while waiting for their children and grandchildren to come back during the holidays. In many parts of rural China, roads are now paved with asphalt or concrete, and villages generally have water, electricity, and internet access. These days, I rarely see a village without proper roads. This has made everyday travel much more convenient and has reduced the distance between rural life and the outside world. Up ahead, we noticed a large red inflatable arch at the entrance of a house. In many parts of rural China, this usually means the family is celebrating a special occasion, such as a wedding, the birth of a baby, or a milestone birthday. Relatives, friends, and neighbors come to offer their congratulations, usually bringing a red envelope with money as a gift. Then everyone stays to share a big banquet together. It's always a lively and joyful gathering. I also noticed that almost every road here had street lights. Even after dark, people could still see the road clearly and walk around without worrying too much. Most of the people we met on the road were older adults. My husband even recognized some of them from the old town, many of whom had already retired. People who still make a living through farming or other physical work are usually too tired to come out for an evening walk after a full day's labor. For some older villagers, especially those who rely mainly on a basic pension of around 1,000 yuan a month, about 140 US dollars. Life is still quite modest. Many continue working as long as they are physically able, so retirement doesn't always have a clear beginning. The road ahead was unfamiliar, even to my husband, but we decided to keep walking. As we approached an old house that looked almost abandoned, we suddenly heard dogs barking from inside. I felt a little nervous because in rural areas, it is quite common for dogs to roam around without leashes. Seeing so many different breeds, we guessed that someone might have rescued these stray dogs and was caring for them together in the old house. But of course, that was only our guess. By the time we walked back to the old town, it was already 8 p.m. We had arranged to meet my husband's cousin at 8:30 for barbecue. My son had been looking forward to it all day. Normally, the three of us rarely eat barbecue in Changsha because it's usually quite oily and heavily seasoned. But this time, back on our hometown, we didn't want to disappoint him. I changed out of my sweaty clothes first, then put Fuki's harness on. We were going to stop by my sister-in-law's shop and let Fuki meet her two dogs, hoping they could become friends. We quickly walked to my husband's cousin's home at the other end of the old street, because my son and my nephew were still playing there. After picking up the kids, we all walked together to the barbecue restaurant in town. It was only about 500 meters away. The town is really small, so almost everything is within walking distance. As we crossed the road and got close to the barbecue restaurant, we saw my mother-in-law sitting at a nearby shop, chatting with her friends. In a small town, moments like this happen naturally. You walk a few steps and you may run into family or someone you know. We stopped to say hello and told her that my son was going to get some barbecue next door. My husband's cousin's wife has a beauty salon right next to the barbecue restaurant. In China, barbecue is often something people eat late at night, almost like a late-night snack. So we brought Fuchi to the salon first, where he could stay with her two dogs while we were eating. We kept the door closed and locked, so the dogs could play together safely inside. The barbecue place next door was already busy. We ordered 6 cups of their signature cold jelly dessert first, and then let the 3 kids choose all the barbecue skewers. They could order whatever they wanted. While I was busy filming, my sister-in-law picked up the basket of skewers and went to pay before I even realized what was happening. In many Chinese families, care is often shown in these small, quiet ways. People may not say much, but they naturally take care of the bill, prepare food, or make sure everyone is comfortable. After waiting for the cold jelly desserts to be packed, we didn't stay to eat at the barbecue restaurant. Instead, we asked the owner to grill the skewers and send them to another small storefront behind the restaurant once they were ready. It was a very simple little shop. My husband, his cousin, and some of their friends had already started eating and drinking there. Why did they choose this place? Because It was opened by one of his cousin's old classmates, and they wanted to support his business. In a small town, life is often held together by these familiar relationships. Maybe that is one reason people still like coming back to their hometowns. Not just for the place itself, but for the people who are still there.